guys, Coach B here. Today is all about protein. I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of protein, why we should prioritize it, basically the breakdown of calories for it, and the benefits. All right, so we should prioritize protein in your diet. The reason being is that it helps improve your adherence. So if you're in a fat loss program, this is where you'd really want to make sure that you're eating protein. But it also helps in just the general public. So it doesn't really matter what your diet goal is. The facts are that protein has, many benefits, and I'm going to list about 4 of them. So number 1 is it does suppress hunger, okay, and it promotes fullness, all right? It preserves your normal resting metabolic rate, and it's the only macronutrient that actually helps you rebuild your muscle tissue, okay? So it's like it provides the amino acids, the building blocks for muscle. Protein has 4 calories per gram, which is the same as a carbohydrate. So isocalorically, the two are the same. There's just the difference between what protein can do for your body and what carbohydrates can do for your body, okay? Protein has the greatest thermic effect of food. So let me explain what the thermic effect of food is. Okay, so that would be the number of calories that your body utilizes to burn, to digest, to transport nutrients in your body. And it equates to about 10% of our total daily energy expenditure. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food in comparison to carbs and fats. So protein is about 25 to 35%, and carbs would be about 5 to 10%, whereas fats are only 0 to 5%. Okay, so basically what it means is that it takes more energy to utilize protein because it's slow to digest, okay? And it's quite challenging for our digestive system. So to properly digest and absorb and then embark on muscle protein synthesis, which is what happens when we take in protein, it takes a lot more calories to do so, which is why it's so important to have higher protein intakes. The average person that comes to me, I'll have them look at their dietary intake, I'll have them track or journal it, and I'll take a look to see how much they're taking in. The average female that comes to me is about 80 grams. The average male might be 150 grams, but most of the time people are underestimating and they're not eating enough protein. So what I do is I take a look at that, and then I do the evaluation and the assessment of what's going on and what their goals are. And basically, when we're looking at protein intake, we want you to feel fuller, and we want protein to be there so that it can help rebuild your muscles, right? So we look at all of those factors, but the number one thing is that basically just making sure that you get the minimal amount, which is anywhere between 0.6 grams per pound of body weight to 1.0 grams per pound of body weight. Now you can go higher at 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, but that's usually kind of left for those who are doing like a contest prep for a bodybuilding show or some kind of physique show or something where you're in a really extreme deficit, okay? It's not required. So the average person should actually aim for 1.0 grams, but that doesn't always happen, especially if we're on the obese side of things or we're really heavy. You can't necessarily just jump up to that amount if you're not taking that in already. So normally speaking, if you're on the if you're carrying excessive body fat, I would get you started at the 0.6 grams, depending on where you are to begin with, and then move you upwards as we continue to work together. There's so many different types of proteins out there. Like I can provide you with a huge list. Everything from like chicken, turkey, ground meats, beef, pork, game meats, lean jerky, so beef jerkies, turkey jerky, lean deli meats. People don't ever think about deli meat as a protein, but it absolutely is. There's always room for that in your diet. Dairy, fish, plant-based proteins, protein powders, those are all really, really beneficial. Yes, plant protein is an incomplete protein, but you can take it in. You just have to be able to marry some of the foods to create that complete protein. But animal protein is going to be the most complete. It's going to have all your essential amino acids, and that's what's going to be optimal for muscle growth. With plant protein, it's suboptimal, okay? Remember, here's what I'll end with. Protein is really, really important. It's going to help keep you more satiated. I do believe that in a lot of cases, people who have a real hard time with adhering to their programs, a lot of the time it's simply because we need to add more protein. And in all actuality, they're not seeing the same results that they could if they were eating more protein. And I'll tell you this, just adding more protein to your diet can be a game changer without changing anything else, because it's going to help you stay more satiated and likely, because of that thermic effect of food, increase your metabolic capacity right there. So If you guys have any questions, let me know. The number one thing that I want you to remember though when it comes to fat loss is that you must be able to find a caloric deficit. So whatever that looks like, that's for you to create, but with that, adherence. If you can't adhere, you're likely not going to achieve your goals.